How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the top couple of stocks that I'm looking to buy heading into this week in the stock market. And I also want to break down the top companies that are reporting earnings that I'm keeping an eye out on and that you guys should probably watch out for as well. And just like every single Sunday, we're going to break down what happened last week in the market, taking a look here at the S&P 500 so we can break down some technical areas and maybe go over where we might be headed over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks in the market. So if you guys find value in the video, as always, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and check out all the free links down below in the description box if you want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community. And if you want 2 free stocks from Webull, one of them valued up to $1,400, all you have to do is deposit $100 into the account, and that's when you get your 2 free stocks. And again, those are linked right down below in the description box. So at this point, typically on Sunday, we would break down the futures, but since I'm filming this a bit earlier today at 3:20 p.m. and the futures market opens at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, we can't film that part of the video. But we're going to break down what happened last week with the S&P and a couple of scenarios that I'm keeping my eyes out on for this upcoming week. So overall, and we talked about this a bit on Friday, overall, the bulls won the week. And the bulls won Friday in particular. And there's a couple of reasons why. Take a look at what happened here. This is the 5-day, 5-minute chart on the S&P 500, which goes over the last 5 days of trading. So here we have the week starting the 6th of July up to about the 10th of July. So we can see the S&P has been range bound pretty much. And by that, I mean it's been trading within the range between 31.20 and about 31.80. So roughly a 60-point window is where the S&P has been trading over the past 5 days. You guys can see on Monday, we tested 31.80, got rejected. On Tuesday, we tested it again, got rejected. On, what was this? Thursday, we tested it again, got rejected right around 31.80. But on Friday, we ended up breaking 31.80 and closing on a very strong bull push heading into the close of the market and into the weekend, which is leading me to believe that the bulls are in charge. And not only did we close above 31.80, we actually pulled down, we retested 31.80 at a higher low as a new support, and then we rallied off of it into the close, which is even more bullish at the end of the day. So overall, last week, again, we were pretty much range bound. Thursday, we had a very big red day. The markets, well, they didn't close too bad in the red, but at one point, we were down all the way to 31.15, and for the bulls out there, if we pull up this 4-hour chart, the fact that we held that area at about 31.15, 31.20, that was very pivotal because that was a point of support right around that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, which has held in the past, and it was also the 31.20 support, which stems months ago. So very good job there for the bulls to hold that 31.15, 31.20 area on Thursday and rallying into Friday. And now, when you guys are watching this video, the futures market should be open. Keep an eye on those futures, the S&P futures, which is simply /ES. This is the E-mini S&P 500 index. Keep an eye on this. Is it gapping up? Is it gapping down aggressively, or is it pretty neutral? If it's gapping up aggressively, and if it stays that way throughout the night into the market open tomorrow, that could mean, okay, we're fully breaking out of 31.85, and the bulls are gonna maybe be in charge for the beginning of this week as well, to the point where the S&P could maybe go up to 32.20. So keep an eye on the futures for the gap up or for the gap down. If the gap down occurs, maybe we go back down to test, let's say, 3165. We gap down to that area. Maybe that holds as a support. Maybe down to 3150, which is a very big level of support, big resistance from back in the middle towards the end of June. So just keep an eye on the futures, guys, and not only on the S&P futures, again, which is /ES, but also on the NASDAQ /NQ. The NASDAQ did very well on Friday, as all you guys should know at this point. It's been doing the best out of all the indexes, as big tech has been carrying the market. And fun fact about big tech, I don't know if it's the FANG stocks plus Microsoft. No, I think it is the FANG stocks plus Microsoft. They make up about 20%, 20-ish%, right around there, of the S&P 500, which is absolutely incredible. And they're also pushing up the NASDAQ as well. And just keep an eye on the Dow /YM, which is the Dow futures. And again, just watch for that gap up, that gap down, or if they're just staying neutral. And always check up on the futures pre-market on every day, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day the market is open. This will allow you to see how the sentiment overall is, and it'll help you prepare for the next trading day a lot better. So although I'm filming this with no futures right now, I'm still going to go back at night when I do have more time later at night and look at the futures and do more analysis to kind of go on top of what we talked about here in this video. So that's kind of what the markets did last week, some key levels that we held, and where we might be going to here on the SPX. And if you guys don't know, SPY is an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, and many people use this instead of looking at the S&P 500 index, and I also do as well. So it's really, you can look at either or to get a gauge of the market, either the SPY ETF, most popular ETF out there for the S&P, or SPX, which is the index itself. So let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on the markets? Where are we headed later this week? In the next couple of weeks, I'd love to know. And also, let me know what the futures are looking like right now. If they're gapping up, gapping down, if it's looking very bad, let me know in the comment section. Now, let's talk about some of these companies that are reporting earnings and that are arguably some of the most scrutinized companies, especially in this environment where we have 0% interest rates, where the economy is where it's at, where we have millions of people every week filing for jobless claims. We have a lot of jobs coming back, but at the end of the day, it's not fresh jobs that are being created. It's just jobs that were lost before the crisis that are simply coming back. So we have a lot of things going on right here, which really is impacting the banking stocks, the banking companies in general, and they're going to be very interesting to watch for this upcoming week. First and foremost, on the 14th of July, which is Tuesday, JP Morgan's reporting. JP Morgan, arguably the best ran bank out there. Jamie Dimon is the CEO. This one was up 5.5%, up $5 on Friday. And you'll notice all of these banking stocks, they were bought up on Friday. I don't know if it was all day Friday that they rallied. It was all day Friday. Yep, all day Friday, these banking stocks rallied. And notice how JP Morgan and all the other ones, most of the other ones at least, we'll take a look at them. They're all now confirming a higher low, and they're kind of reversing out of the downtrend, which is very good here. And remember, I believe it was last week we talked about banking stocks, JP Morgan in particular, maybe opening up for a buy. This is looking very good. And again, it's because the uptrend held itself at a higher low. You guys can see it on the 4-hour chart here. And on the 4-hour chart, with Friday's insane day of 5.5%, we actually rallied out of the 50 SMA, which has been a resistance ever since the beginning of June. So at this point, guys, this week, It's going to be interesting for JP Morgan. We have $98 coming up. That was a resistance back in the end of April. It was a support back in June, beginning of June, before we rallied up to that high before dumping. So that made it a big resistance after we fell under it, as a support, after we failed holding it as a support. So 98 is going to be big. If we take out 98, that is where I think JP Morgan is going to have a lot of potential to go up even higher, maybe 105, 110, 115. And depending on their earnings, it's going to be interesting. And me personally, guys, I don't like buying stocks, especially if I'm trading them in the short term, right before earnings. I don't like gambling before earnings. That's too risky for me. Instead, I like waiting and seeing, okay, what does this company report in EPS and revenue and other metrics as well? And sure, I might miss money. I might leave money on the table if it rockets up after earnings and then I have to get in after earnings, maybe on a pull down. But it's better safe than sorry, because I've seen companies report earnings that suck, the company drops, and many people lose their butt like that. Whether they get in, they buy shares before, or even worse, they buy call options expecting the stock to go up, and then they get burnt on the options, which, if you guys don't know options, you can lose a lot more money on a wrong options play or a bad options play as opposed to, just buying shares, most of the time at least, right? So at this point, I'm watching JPM. We're not going to go into what the earnings are expected to be, but you guys can do your own research on that. But ultimately, I'm looking at this uptrend on the 4-hour chart, and $98. If that breaks, I'm probably going to be a buyer of JPM, especially if they do well with earnings. BAC, Bank of America, they're actually reporting on the 16th. And just like JPM, Friday's movement ended up getting us out of the downtrend that we've been in ever since the beginning of June. So this is a good sign, guys. Very good sign. We broke out of that 50 SMA, still trading under the 180 SMA, but I think anything above, let's say, $25 on Bank of America, I would say that's breakout territory for the stock. Anything from, let's say, $24.75 to about $25.30. That's kind of where I'm watching there on Bank of America as an entry point. Wells Fargo, arguably the worst ran bank, is the one that is not looking like it's actually rallying into an uptrend here on the 4-hour chart. It's still overall downtrending, but with Friday's movement, we actually solidified $23.60 as a support. That's pretty good, more like $24, and we're trying to break out of the 50 SMA, but ultimately it's still downtrending here. So I had to be careful with Wells Fargo, and they're also, just like JP Morgan, they're also reporting earnings on the 14th. Now, Goldman Sachs is another one. Goldman Sachs, they're reporting earnings on the 15th here, and they actually were up about 4.5% on Friday. They took out 204, big resistance. Now 210 is the next resistance, and hey, maybe we get a short-term play there on Goldman Sachs from 205, maybe up to that $210 level. So overall, guys, those are the main banks that I'm watching for this upcoming week. I mean, some other ones, Morgan Stanley might be reporting. I'm not too sure, but I'm assuming, yeah. On the 16th, that's another bank to keep an eye out on. And let me know down below in the comments other banks that I'm missing and when they're reporting, and what you guys think overall when it comes down to the banking stocks. So now let's get into some other ones that I'm looking at this week and that I'm quite honestly a bit more interested in than the banking stocks, since the banking stocks are very risky, especially in this environment that we're in with the economy. But many people are saying still that the banking stocks are undervalued. So again, I'd love to know what you guys have to think down below. But to go on to some other stocks here, Virgin Galactic, SPCE, this is one that we finally got some big move, momentum this past week. You guys can see on the 5-day, 5-minute chart, back on Thursday, this stock went from about $16.75. It actually took out $19, failed to take out 20, which is a big level of resistance. But one positive thing is, despite us failing to break out of there, we're actually holding 19 as a new support pretty strongly based on Friday and after market hours on Friday as well. So at this point, you guys know I have shares in Virgin Galactic. I'm long call options. I forget exactly. Let me pull up my Webull app very quickly to show you guys what options I'm in. But they're the January 2021 options. Those were actually up about 50%. January 15th, $35 2021 call options. Those are the ones I'm in. Those were up about 50% over the past couple of days. And needless to say, guys, I'm bullish on Virgin Galactic. They're actually showing the inside of one of their spacecrafts. They're live streaming it on the 28th. You guys can see it here. Virgin Galactic will reveal design of spaceships to cabin interior design via YouTube live stream on July 28th. So I'm tuning in for that. But at the end of the day, guys, this stock is rallying because well, no one really knows why it's rallying. No big piece of news came out, but it's been stuck in such a range between 15 to 16, 17. Now it's starting to heat back up. More buyers are coming in, a lot of volume. You guys can see the volume spike this past week. So it's going to be interesting to see, will this stay? Will this hold, right? If it holds 19, I believe the next big resistance that we're going to go to, you guys can see last time we held 19, and multiple times we've done this, we've rallied up to 21, $21, and ultimately 21 is an even bigger resistance because you guys can see over the past year, well, more over the past 6 months, we've rallied from 19 to 21 here once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5 times, and all of those 5 times we failed to break out. So I think if it fails to break out again, that could be a good short opportunity in the short term. But if we take out of 21, 21.50, the bulls are going to rip this thing up, in my opinion, at least to the mid-25s. That's kind of where I think it's going. And another one here that I love for this upcoming week is Upwork, ticker symbol UPWK. This is one that I actually rode last week. I made some pretty good money there, about a 6-7% trade from $15 to the higher 16s. And now that we're pulling down from $16.90 down to about $16, we're looking to retest that $15.70 to about $16 level, which was an old resistance. You guys can see it here on the yearly chart. We topped off back in September to about November of 2019. We double topped at around $15.60 to $16. So the fact that we are holding this level into the weekend as a support, and if we continue to do that, I'm looking to get into Upwork anywhere from 16.25 up to about, let's say, 17.50 to about 17.75. That's the goal move there. And another one that is trading range bound here is MasterCard, ticker symbol MA, and you guys can see exactly what I mean by that. Take a look. On the hourly chart, we're holding 290, 295, which is a pretty big support. We actually double bottomed and we rallied Thursday, Friday, and heading into the weekend, which is very good here for MasterCard. So for me, I'm going to set an alert on it at about 297. Let me just quickly do that here for you guys. And if you don't know how to do that, by the way, to set an alert, all you have to do is right-click on ThinkOrSwim, go down here to create alert, and you do mark is at or above, and depending on what you want, at or below, below, above, whatever. For this case, at or above, and we'll do $297. So that's going to pop up. You guys will see it here. So once, if it breaks out that is where I'll be getting in, again, for this little range play between 290 roughly to about 310. And I'd be selling right around 300, maybe 305, 310 is where I want to get out completely. But ultimately, that is what I'm looking at here when it comes to MasterCard, ticker symbol MA. And BABA is another one here. And the Chinese stocks, guys, a lot of people are saying, are they under pressure because of the phase 2 deal at this point kind of crumbling? We'll go over that in a second here. But Alibaba here, ticker symbol BABA, ended up pulling down from 270 down to about 260. We're holding that EMA on this 4-hour chart, so this could be maybe a short-term buy before it takes off again, right? And am I banking on it taking off to, let's say, 300 from here? Probably not, but not saying it can't, but I'd be scared. Not scared, but what's it called? Cautious, right? I'd be cautious. But on the flip side, I wouldn't be surprised if it did just take off again. But ultimately, a healthier spot, I think, for BABA to bring the RSI down a bit to a healthier area would be around 240, 245, 250. That is kind of where I'd feel comfortable maybe buying some shares here. But ultimately, Trump said, and this was on Friday, the U.S. and China's relationship has been severely damaged and that he has other plans in mind other than a second phase trade deal. And I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, take it for what you want it, guys. He's angry at China over the CV outbreak, claiming they could have stopped it from spreading before it ended up getting over here to the United States. And if you guys don't remember, you need a bit of a refresh. Back in January, Trump signed a phase 1 trade deal with China that focused on increasing U.S. exports of agricultural, energy, and other products. So this could damper some Chinese stocks. That's the risk that you have to take here. If there's a severed relationship between the U.S. and China, if it gets worse between the U.S. and China, the presidential election is going to come big because, let's say, if Trump gets voted out, Biden gets voted in, what is he going to do with China? If Trump wins again, what's it going to be like the next 4 years with China? So there's risk, but there's also a lot of bullish momentum. You can't lie about that. There's a lot of volume, and as traders, I'm looking at this like an opportunity. But again, you have to understand the risk. And the same exact thing here with NEO. I mean, NEO, just like BABA, it's been hot, very, very hot, but it's mostly because of not all the other electric vehicles are pushing up NEO, but all electric vehicle stocks are hot at this point, and NEO's hot. Maybe it's piggybacking a bit off of Tesla too, but it's hot because they did very well in terms of their delivery numbers a week or two ago. I'm not going to talk about those numbers because we already have, but that's what kind of sparked this massive rally. Tesla's been rallying. We have other EV stocks like Workhorse has been rallying as well, and it's been pushing up everything. So just be careful with NEO, but just like BABA, it's pulled down from 16 to 15. We're holding that EMA on the 4-hour chart, so this could be a higher low dip buy. And if it's gapping up pre-market tomorrow, we're seeing a move into the 15, 30s, 50s, whatever, that could be the sign that, okay, it's pushing. That could be the confirmation that we're going to be going higher. So watch out for NEO there, and Workhorse as well. Big day coming up here on the 14th for the USPS contract. Watch that. I don't want to go over this one too much. I feel like we've been talking about it like crazy, but overall, I'm watching $14. That's a big support, and I'm watching what's going on the 14th of July. And another big one here is Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. We got news back on the 7th of this month that Walmart is launching a competitor to Amazon Prime this month, which is projected to cost about $98 a year. I'm not sure if that'll change. That's just the info I got. And that's going to include same day delivery. And that ended up spiking the stock up from 120 up to 131. It continued the rally despite the little pull down from about 129 to about 124 from the 7th into the 8th. So that's a good sign that bulls are still in charge and that we might be headed higher here on the stock. So am I buying it here? Probably not, but if it pulls down again, maybe retests 128, I'd probably be a buyer of the stock as a swing trade. And the last one here, and although I cut out of this position last week to just play it safe, I cut my losses on Ulta, I'm still watching it, right? I'm still watching it as it is holding $190. If it holds 190, breaks out, takes 203 out, and that 50 SMA, like I said last week, that is what I'd re-enter on, right? If I see that, that is what I'd want to see to re-enter. But until then, I'm simply watching it, looking to see if it holds 190. If it breaks 190, guys, we might be going down, let's say, the 180s. Where's the next level of support here? Probably, 170, 180, just that general area, which obviously wouldn't be too good for the bulls. So overall, that is it for this video. Those are the main stocks that I'm watching and looking to buy heading into this upcoming week. Let me know if you guys found any value in the video. Drop a comment, hit the like button. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see further content like this. I'm uploading daily on the channel, and don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,400. All you have to do is deposit $100 into the account, and that's when you get your free stocks after about 5-7 business days. And I also get 2 free stocks, and it's a way to support the channel and all the free content that I'm putting up here on YouTube. So I'll catch you all in the next video. And again, those are all linked down below in the description box. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.